Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I still remember the feeling of that initial excitement. Fresh out of my master's program, I landed a junior architect position at a highly competitive firm. The big project, a massive urban renewal initiative, starting with a central park and community hub. This wasn't just a job, it was my dream. I poured every ounce of my creativity into my designs, sketching meticulously, refining every detail of green spaces, walkways, and sustainable structures. My name is Cara Reynolds, and I lived for this. Among my peers was Jenna Thorne. At first, we got along. We'd chat over coffee, discussing design philosophies, and I, perhaps naively, thought we were building a good rapport. I even showed her some of my preliminary sketches, detailed schematics for a multi-tiered community garden, complete with water reclamation features and integrated public art. She seemed genuinely impressed, almost to an unnerving degree. Our mentor, Dr. Alastair Simon, an industry legend, recognized my dedication. My initial proposals for the Park Central Plaza earned me high marks in our internal reviews. Jenna, on the other hand, struggled. She'd hover around my desk, asking for pointers, complaining about the difficulty, and generally being a drain on my time and patience. She was perpetually late for our study sessions, rarely listened, and never contributed anything. After a few weeks, I started avoiding her outside of work, sensing a profound laziness beneath her charming facade. Then came the first major design review, where we presented our concepts for individual sections of the park. When Jenna's turn came, I felt a cold dread creep up my spine. There, on the projector screen, was my multi-tiered community garden, virtually identical to my detailed sketches, right down to the unique terracing and water features. My blood ran cold. I had other designs for my presentation, thankfully, but the audacity of her theft left me seething. I confronted Dr. Simon privately. He looked weary, confirming my suspicions. Jenna was the daughter of Arthur Vance, a major investor and board member. Vance had subtly, but firmly, leaned on Dr. Simon to ensure Jenna's success, effectively blackmailing him with threats to his position and the department's funding. Dr. Simon was cornered, unable to openly accuse Jenna without risking his career and the careers of many others. The injustice was unbearable. My hard work, my passion, was being stolen and rewarded for nepotism. This wasn't just about a grade. It was about my professional integrity and my future in architecture. Dr. Simon, however, wasn't one to let injustice stand. He pulled me aside and outlined a daring plan. The final presentation for the project would be massive. Not only would Dr. Simon and other senior partners be judging, but a panel of renowned external architects and urban planners would be present, along with Arthur Vance himself. It was a high-stakes event. His plan was simple, yet brilliant in its cruelty. I was to feign a reconciliation with Jenna. During our friendly meetings, I was to bring out my other sketchbook, not my project designs, but the one filled with my personal studies of iconic architectural masterpieces. These were my inspiration sketches, intricate, hand-rendered copies of works by Zaha Hadid, Frank Gehry, Santiago Calatrava. Every line, every shadow, meticulously reproduced by me to understand their genius, but never intended as original work. I was to present these as my ideas, my conceptual studies, leaving just enough ambiguity for Jenna to latch onto. For weeks, I endured Jenna's insufferable presence again. I'd watch as her eyes greedily scanned my inspiration sketches, her mind clearly racing with how she could appropriate them. All the while, I secretly toiled away on my true final design, a concept entirely new and brilliant, a culmination of everything I'd learned and created. Dr. Simon guided me, ensuring my new work was impeccable and unique. The day of the final presentation arrived. Dr. Simon and I exchanged a knowing glance, a silent pact of impending justice. My heart pounded, but it wasn't just nerves, it was the thrill of the hunt. I presented first my design for the core community hub, a marvel of sustainable engineering and aesthetic beauty. The external judges were visibly impressed, offering genuine praise and thoughtful questions. It was the proudest moment of my young career. After a few more presentations, it was Jenna's turn. She walked up to the podium, A smug smirk plastered on her face and activated the projector. My stomach clenched, but I held my composure. And there they were, 3 original designs, each a thinly veiled, amateurish recreation of the famous sketches I'd shown her. A towering, curving structure that was clearly a homage to Haddad, a deconstructivist building unmistakably inspired by Jerry, and a soaring bridge design echoing Calatrava's work. My blood ran cold, but my mind was screaming, "Gotcha!" The room was silent as Jenna finished her spiel, brimming with undeserved confidence. Then, the first external judge, a stoic woman known for her sharp intellect, spoke. "Ms. Thorne," she began, her voice calm but penetrating, "you claim these are your original concepts, developed solely by you." Jenna puffed out her chest. "Absolutely, years of study, pure inspiration." "And you swear they are not derivative, nor directly copied from existing works?" The judge pressed, her gaze unwavering. "I swear," Jenna declared, looking around for affirmation, her eyes briefly meeting mine with a triumphant gleam. The judge simply nodded, then looked at the other judges. "Ms. Thorne, are you aware that your first design bears striking resemblance to Zaha Hadid's Haydar Aliyev Center, and the second, an uncanny likeness to the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao by Frank Gehry, and the third, eerily similar to Santiago Calatrava's Auditorio de Tenerife?" Jenna's smug expression instantly vanished, replaced by a confused frown. "Huh, no, these are my designs." Another judge chimed in, a renowned urban planner. "Ms. Thorne, these are not merely similar. They are virtually identical in their core structural and aesthetic principles. If you presented these as original work at any reputable firm, you'd be looking at immediate termination and potentially a lawsuit for intellectual property theft. Did you honestly believe we wouldn't recognize some of the most iconic structures of the last century?" But these aren't my designs," Jenna blurted out, her voice rising in panic. They're Kara's. She showed them to me. She said they were her ideas." She pointed a trembling finger at me. The first judge turned to me, her expression unreadable. "Ms. Reynolds, is this true?" I took a deep breath, meeting her gaze calmly. "Yes, I did show Jenna sketches of these particular buildings. I made them myself as studies, as a way to learn from the masters. I referred to them as inspirations for my own creative process, never as original work to be submitted for this competition. My actual submission was presented earlier, as you saw." I gestured towards my previous presentation slides. The judge nodded slowly, a faint smirk playing on her lips. "That much was clear from your outstanding presentation, Ms. Reynolds." She turned back to a now pale Jenna. "Ms. Thorne, this is a flagrant case of plagiarism and professional dishonesty. I suggest your firm takes this matter very seriously." The room erupted. Arthur Vance, Jenna's father, jumped to his feet, red-faced, screaming at Dr. Simon. "This is your fault, Simon. You promised me she'd pass. You were supposed to ensure her success just like you always have." His words hung in the air, a sickening revelation of his long-standing manipulation. Dr. Simon stood tall, meeting Vance's furious glare with a calm, steely resolve. Jenna was not only summarily dismissed from the internal competition program, but effectively blacklisted from the firm, her career stillborn before it ever truly began. Arthur Vance, his influence shattered and his corruption exposed, was forced to resign from the board in disgrace, his reputation in tatters. A new, honorable board member was swiftly appointed. I, on the other hand, was offered an immediate promotion and a lead role in the urban renewal project. My designs are now becoming a reality, a testament to genuine talent and hard work. Watching Jenna's world crumble and seeing Arthur Vance lose everything he built on deception wasn't just satisfying, it was a profound vindication. Justice, in its most poetic and devastating form, was served.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.